He said it like it was nothing. Just a few words tossed out over dinner, like I wouldn't remember them tomorrow. But I did. I remember every syllable, every pause. I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I just went to my room, zipped up a bag, and walked out. No goodbyes. No explanation. They didn't even realize it was over until much later. By then, I was already gone. After college, I moved back in with my parents. It wasn't dramatic. I had a decent remote job, but rent in my area was ridiculous and my dad said, "Save your money, help out a bit around here, you're always welcome." It sounded fair. And at first, it was. I paid for groceries. Then the internet. Then half the rent. Then I started covering the electric bill when Dad's hours got cut. My mom's prescriptions, too. One thing turned into another. Not because they asked, but because I saw the need and filled it. No one said thank you. But I didn't need them to. I wasn't doing it for credit. I was doing it because I cared. Because it was family. That's what you do, right? But slowly, the pattern shifted. I'd come home from a full workday, and dishes would be piled high. No one had cooked. The lights were on in every room. My younger sister would be hogging the Wi-Fi on TikTok while I struggled through Zoom calls. When I asked her to pause for 20 minutes, she'd roll her eyes and say, "You act like this place is yours." My mom never stepped in. My dad mostly grumbled in the background or complained about how expensive everything was. I thought maybe I was being sensitive. Maybe I was tired. But something kept tugging at me, a quiet realization. They weren't treating me like part of the family. They were treating me like a utility. It wasn't just the money. It was the way things were assumed. If something broke, I'd fix it. If the fridge was empty, I'd fill it. If bills were due, I'd take care of them without being asked. And if I didn't, they got quiet, or cold, or disappointed. No tantrums. No yelling. Just this suffocating undercurrent of guilt. I remember one Saturday, my dad casually mentioned we needed new tires for the car, his car, that I didn't drive. He said it in passing, while drinking coffee. Then looked at me. "You could probably cover that this week, right?" I said, "I just paid the phone bill and groceries." He didn't argue. He just sighed like I'd let the whole house down. That sigh stuck with me longer than any fight could have. I told myself it was temporary. I told myself I was helping. But over time, helping started to look a lot like keeping the house functional while being treated like a guest. Even when I tried to set boundaries, it didn't go well. I once told them I couldn't cover the water bill that month. My dad said, "If you live here, you pitch in. Or don't live here." Not angry. Just, absolute. I backed down. Again. Because deep down, I still believed that my value was tied to what I gave. Until one night. It was a regular Tuesday. I came home late, exhausted. I'd been covering for someone at work, dealing with 100 tabs in my head. I barely made it through the door before my dad hit me with it. The mechanic called. "The brakes are bad. $800. I paused. "I can't," I said. "I just paid rent and helped mom with her meds. I literally have $200 until next week." He stared at me, then said it, loud, bitter, and clear. "You give nothing to this family." That stopped me cold. Not, "Can we figure it out?" Not, "Let's talk." Just a flat-out erasure of everything I'd done for 2.5 years. I opened my mouth, closed it. Then he added, "Maybe it's time you leave. If all you care about is yourself." I nodded once. Didn't raise my voice. Didn't argue. I walked to my room, packed a bag. A few clothes. Laptop. Wallet. Left the rest. I walked out the front door, quietly. No one stopped me. No one even asked where I was going. I didn't go far. A close friend had a spare room. She offered it without conditions. "Stay as long as you need. No rent. Just breathe." I unpacked one bag. Charged my laptop. Sent my boss a message. "I'll be working remote from a new address." All good. That night, I lay in bed and stared at the ceiling, waiting for it to hit me. The guilt. The panic. The regret. It didn't come. What did come? Silence. No messages from Dad. No calls from Mom. My sister didn't text once. 2 days passed. Then 5. Then 2 weeks. I guess I took more with me than just clothes. By the 3rd week, I remembered something important. I'd been the one paying all the bills. So I opened my banking app. Auto payments for rent. Cancelled. Electric bill. Cancelled. Wi-Fi. Gone. Phone bill. Still mine, but no longer theirs. That night, I got the first message. From my sister. Why did the internet go down? I have an exam tomorrow. I replied. Because I stopped paying for it. No answer. 2 hours later, another ping. Did you cancel the electric too? I replied again. Yes. I moved out. I stopped paying for things in a house I don't live in. She sent a thumbs down emoji. And nothing else. The next day, my mom called. I let it ring. She called again. Left a voicemail. We're worried. Just call back. Your father's upset. I didn't call. Because I wasn't lost. I wasn't in danger. And I wasn't coming back. I was just unavailable. Like a service that got cut off for non-payment. 3 days later, my dad called. I answered. He didn't say hi. Didn't ask how I was. Just. It's been a few weeks. You made your point. Are you done now? That stopped me. I said, what point do you think I made? Silence. Then he snapped. Look, we're behind on everything now. Rent, power, even groceries. Your mother's stressed out. Are you proud of that? I took a breath. And calmly said. You told me I gave nothing to this family. So I stopped. He hung up. That was the first time I realized something simple and terrifying. They didn't miss me. They missed what I gave them. By week 4, they were scrambling. Another voicemail from mom. This time her tone was different. No more passive guilt. Just stress. We can't keep up with the rent. Can you just come by? Maybe we can talk. Not come home. Not we miss you. Just maybe we can talk. My sister texted again too. This time it wasn't about the internet. It was about food. Dad's pissed. We're out of groceries. Can you at least help mom? I didn't answer. Because helping was what got me here. I started writing it out one night. Just for myself. A list of everything I'd paid for over the last 18 months. Rent, $900 per month. Internet, $85 per month. Electric, average $110. Water and trash, $60. Mom's prescriptions, $160 per month. Groceries, easily $300, $400/month. Car maintenance I didn't use, $2,000 over a year. It wasn't even about the money. It was about what they didn't do in return. No thanks. No offers to pitch in. No sense of shared responsibility. Just expectation. As if I owed it by default. And now that it was gone, the system didn't just falter. It collapsed. They couldn't cover basic expenses. My sister started posting vague, family struggles, quotes on Instagram. It's always the ones you love who leave first. Please. She never once asked how I was doing. Never once asked why I left. Just kept reaching out when something needed to be fixed. I started sleeping better. I woke up without tension in my chest. I started going for walks in the morning, buying myself decent food, picking out my own shampoo instead of using whatever was left in the shared bathroom. The little things, they added up. I realized I hadn't heard my own thoughts in years. My friend, the one I was staying with, said it best. They didn't lose a tenant. They lost their buffer. Exactly. And the crazy part? I still loved them. But I didn't want to go back. Because love without respect isn't family. It's just servitude with matching last names. It started subtle. My mom sent a text that read, I don't know why you're punishing us. We did our best. My dad followed it up the next day with, you were never expected to pay for everything. That was your choice. And my sister? She posted something online. A story. White text on a black screen. Some people love to act like martyrs when they walk out on the people who supported them. I didn't reply to any of it. Because none of it was real. Let's get one thing straight. I was never asked to pay for everything. I was just put in a position where, if I didn't, everything fell apart, and I was made to feel guilty for watching it happen. And now that I left, they had two choices. 1, accept that they depended on me and didn't appreciate it. 2, rewrite the story. Guess which one they picked? My aunt called around that time. She hadn't spoken to me in over a year. Said she just wanted to hear my side. Apparently, my dad had told the extended family that I was going through something, that I'd stormed out during an argument, and that they were giving me space. Stormed out? No. I left quietly. Packed my things. Walked away after being told I gave nothing. The thing is, I didn't need to defend myself. Because people who knew me already knew. My friend, the one I was living with, she saw how drained I was for months. How I couldn't even buy a $20 sweater without wondering if the family needed something first. Even my coworkers noticed the change. One of them said, "You look less tense." I don't know. Like your voice got clearer. It did. Because for the first time in years, I wasn't filtering every decision through the question, "What will my family think?" Meanwhile, the calls slowed down, not because they were okay, but because they were regrouping. And I could feel it. That stage after guilt, when people realize emotional pressure didn't work, they try denial. Act like you were never needed. That your absence was a tantrum. That the system didn't break, you did. But the bills didn't lie. The lights didn't turn on without me. And the silence in their house. That was the sound of them finally sitting with their own responsibilities. I always thought the worst part of leaving would be the guilt. But it wasn't. The worst part was realizing how long I'd stayed silent while everyone else said everything. I started noticing little things in hindsight, the way my sister always expected rides without saying thank you. The way my mom would sigh if I bought myself takeout but not for the whole family. The way my dad only spoke to me when a bill needed covering or something broke. No, how are you doing? No, are you okay? Just utility. Not person. Then came a message from my cousin, someone I hadn't talked to in years. "Hey, just wanted to say I heard what happened. You didn't deserve that." I asked, "What exactly did you hear?" She sent back a voice note. I'll never forget it. Honestly. That you finally stopped being the one they leaned on. That you walked out. But you were the only one actually doing anything. My mom always said she didn't get why it was all on you. That hit harder than any argument. Because the truth had been floating out there all along, just no one wanted to say it out loud when I was still carrying the load. Another message came from my mom's old friend. She said she'd heard I left, and she wasn't surprised. "Your dad always made it sound like you owed them. But you were working full-time and still doing more than anyone. That's not fair." I thanked her. Then I cried. Not because I was hurt, but because for the first time, someone said it without me asking them to. And it made me realize something. I wasn't selfish. I was exhausted. And they mistook my silence for agreement. One night, I sat with my friend in her kitchen. She poured me a glass of wine and said, "You know what's wild? You've been here a month, and not once have you complained about not being there. You just breathe more." That stuck with me. Because I hadn't noticed. But she was right. I was breathing easier, thinking clearer. Not second-guessing every purchase, every plan, every text I didn't reply to fast enough. That's when it really sank in. I wasn't broken. I'd just been buried. 2 months after I left, my dad sent me a text. "Let's talk." That was it. No apology. No context. Just 3 words like they'd earned the right to my time again. I didn't answer. 3 days later, my mom called. She sounded tired. The kind of tired I used to carry for both of them. "We want you to come by. Maybe we can start over." But it wasn't about starting over. It was about getting the old system back. Because without me, they had to deal with themselves. I thought about going. Just once. I thought maybe if I showed up, set new terms, made them understand who I was now, maybe they'd change. But then I realized. They already knew who I was. They just didn't value it until it was gone. That wasn't confusion. That was choice. And I had choice now too. For the first time, I wasn't answering out of guilt. I wasn't putting out fires I didn't start. I wasn't trying to prove I was good enough to be treated with basic respect. So I didn't go. Not out of anger. Not out of revenge. Just because I knew peace when I found it, and I wasn't going to trade it back for obligation. I still love them. But I love myself more. And that version of me, the one who stayed quiet, stayed small, stayed convenient, she's not coming back either. They said I gave nothing to the family. But I was the glue. And when I left, they didn't just lose my help. They lost their balance. Because I was the one holding everything together. They just didn't see it. Until I was gone.